Through an illness, working with our doctors, doing all the tests, even more tests to make sure we got everything covered. And I'm confident he'll be back, pretty soon. So it's just an unpredictable deal.
Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson didn't practice today. You just heard head coach John Harbaugh saying that he's battling some type of illness and he's hoping Lamar will be back soon. Right now, we're joined by Brian Wacker, a Ravens reporter at our media partners at the Baltimore Sun. Brian, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Vince.
Yeah, Brian. So Lamar, he was at camp on Wednesday, but he left pretty soon after that. What do we know about the sickness, and what's the latest on his condition?
The latest is still unknown. As you heard there, Lamar is still fighting through an illness, as John Harbaugh put it. The Ravens did not provide a timeline for his return, but the expectation is this will not be a long-term situation. There was hope he could maybe be here today, but obviously that was not the case. Could be back as soon as tomorrow or possibly early next week with an off day scheduled for Sunday. Now, as you mentioned, Lamar did return on Wednesday, but only for about an hour, and he took just a few snaps, had an interception at one point on a badly thrown pass over the middle, and then he left the field with members of the team's training staff looking a bit weary. I did talk to one person in the building who's been around Lamar over the past week, and he said, look, he was surprised to see Lamar on the field at all on Wednesday and told me that the two-time NFL MVP had been extremely sick. This is also not entirely new, of course, for Lamar. He has missed at least one practice because of illness each of his first seasons in the NFL, as well as a couple of games. But in the meantime, that's added up to more reps for, of course, his backups, Josh Johnson and rookies Devin Leary and Emory Jones.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, and the season will be here before we know it. How important are these early camp practices for the team, and how does it impact not having Lamar on the field?
Well, it certainly impacts them, but as Todd Monken, offensive coordinator, told us earlier in the week, they're continuing with the installment of the offense. They're confident Lamar will be back soon. They're excited, of course, for when he'll be back. You have to remember that the first game is still not until September the 5th, so plenty of time for Lamar to get back on the field. Again, not a long-term concern here, so I think the Ravens are confident that he should be back relatively soon.
Yeah, and besides Lamar being sick, what else should fans be looking for during this preseason?
Well, really the defense. They've stood out so far, of course, in practice going against those backup quarterbacks. Odafe Owe has been very good at getting in the backfield and putting pressure on the quarterback. Marlon Humphrey, coming off that injury-riddled season, he's looked good in his return and is actually down about 10 pounds. The offensive line, of course, with 3 open spots there, that'll start to take shape really over the next couple of weeks or so. Today was the first time that players were in pads for practice, and that's really when you start to see guys go at more of a full speed and get a better sense of everything from the offensive line to, of course, the defense.
Right. Ravens reporter from the Baltimore Sun, Brian Wacker, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.